Okay, day number fucking 4, Tuesday. Let's get it. So what happened in the market today? Um, this was kind of anticipated. I anticipated both of these moves, but I still did not play correctly. I anticipated the liquidity sweep. I did not anticipate this sweeping here, right? But moral of the story, today was very choppy. It was a very hard day to trade. So it was like, you know, it was very hard. It was just a very hard day to trade. You know, nothing else to say about that. But why did this liquidity sweep here? Why was this so? Why did so much bearish momentum come from this? Right? This is just an hour for value gap. That's all this is. It's an hour for value gap, and it's taking out. It's filling. It's trying to fill the gap, which is doing now, right? It's filling the gap with the fair value gap. So if we come back up from here, this is going to be used as liquidity, right? This is going to be used as an area of interest for us to move up larger, right? Am I saying we're going to move up here? No, I'm not saying we're going to move up here. I'm just using this as an example. But it's possible for us to move up here, right? From this area here because there's a bullish order block here. People were buying here. Let's actually just together, let's see where people were buying in this order block here. So actually, it's not that hard to see, right? Uh, this is a morning star. I always talk about morning stars, but let me actually show a picture of it. Morning star. This is a morning star pattern, right? Now, this is a very strong, uh, no, this is not a strong pattern. This is a very strong morning star. Why? Because the buy volume is outdoing the selling volume drastically, right? Even with the buy volume being so small, showing that sellers have gotten weak and people are buying here. So now this is now a demand zone. We could move back down here, but because this is the start of the move. Well, this is just a new low. Uh, but we don't really know if we're gonna go there. All we know is that we sat there here, right? We sat there here. We don't know if we're gonna move up now. We don't know if we're gonna come down here. We don't know what's gonna happen. All we can do is anticipate. So most maybe now that we're seeing that there's buyers here, right? We can use this as a demand zone. We can either use this as a demand zone or we can use this Fibonacci level as a demand zone. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to leave the Fibonacci tool here, and I'm going to use this as a demand zone. Now, now we know that there's liquidity in the area of interest here, and there's buy side liquidity here, right? Buy side liquidity is just at the bottom, sell side is at the top. This is buy side liquidity. Why is this buy side liquidity? Is because this is a new low, right? For us to trend up, you need to make higher lows and higher highs. So this is basically just a low. We can come down to retest this low and then move up, or we can just we can try to move up from here, and then we move up uh from here. We can try to move up from here, and then we move up to take this level out. Why is this level so important for me? It's because this is just a nice strong fair value gap here, and this is also a fair value gap here, right? Why is this such a good fair value gap? Is because this is on the 15-minute chart where a buyer stepped in heavy, right? I saw it on a better time frame. The buyer stepped in. I think it was. Let me see the hour. Wasn't really the hour. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Buyer stepped in here. Oh no, I was looking at this. Yeah, you can see it here on the hour as well. Right. It's very hard to see, but right here. No, the buy volume is harder here. So buyers didn't really step in here. Buyers could have stepped in here. So this could have been a demand zone as well. This seems better. But for some reason, yesterday it was showing me that buyers stepped in here strongly. This was the start of the day, right? I saw yesterday buyers starting to step in. Hmm. I guess it was here on the start of the day. They start to step in here, and then I got out here. I said, okay, I wanted to get out here because I knew that there was a lot of liquidity here, and that's what happened, right? The biggest move of the day is when we took out all this liquidity here, and then we moved up. But the strongest thing I should have seen was that we're most likely bearish on the day because this is like a liquidity run, right? The bar is moving very strong here. Well, yeah, yeah, right here. Yeah, the bar is closing very strong below, so we couldn't be moving down. Price moved up. People probably saw this ICT concept. This is just a higher high, but I know that this is a liquidity run, and this is a lower low. I mean, a lower. This is people thought this was a higher low, but this is actually just we're still in a downtrend here. So that's why we're in. That's why the sellers are here. So when the sellers enter the market, right? They need to take something out. They need to take out the masses for us to move down stronger, right? And that's exactly what they did. They moved up here. On the 15 minute, it looks like a liquidity run, but in all reality, if you go to a higher time frame, this is just a liquidity sweep, and this high is still uncontested by actual money, right? So this high is still to be uncontested on the higher time frames at least, and yeah. So this is why this is such a strong fair value gap for me. This could have been a good one too, because buyers liquidity run here, so buyers could have no, sellers actually stepped in here. Sellers stepped in here. This is a fair value gap that got inverted or invalidated. So this is invalidated fair value gap. So you can either use it like that or you can use it like this, right? Each of those levels are fine, but I'm just gonna keep it here because this was the start of the move that happened in the start of the day on Sunday. So I'm just gonna start there. Um, yeah. So that's the reasoning for this level. I'm so interested in this level. So let's talk about the trades I did yesterday. So yesterday was just a fuck fest. I feel like I did really bad because I just I don't know. I felt like I wasn't locked in. I slept for most of the day. I already gotta get my sleep schedule fixed. I was down like negative 400, and I got back up to like negative 50 from end of the day play, from one play at the end of the day. But also I was up $300 in profit, so it's like I just broke even on the day. Uh, I saw the opportunity, I went for it. You know, nothing you can do about it. I got in here on the start of the day. I saw the buyer stepping in here. Um, I entered here on the touch of the smooth moving average. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, I saw this price step in the smooth moving average. I saw this rising wedge, so I said, yeah, it's probably time to leave the market. I saw sellers coming in here, so I said, okay, sellers are probably in control right now. I'm leaving the market. I'm gonna wait for liquidity to be swept here. That's exactly well, that's not exactly what happened, but we moved up first. We took out liquidity here. This was kind of a liquidity sweep right here, and they swept again. I got in short here. I believe. Why did I get in long here? Actually, did I get in long here? I guess I got. Oh no, I got in short here. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I did get in short here. I got in short here. Um, I wrote it down to right here, I believe. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. I got it. I took profit here, and then I went for a long right here. I don't know why it's not showing my executions, actually. Uh, that's unfortunate. But anyways, I got in for a long right here. I mean a short right. No, I got in for a short right here because I saw buyers weren't stepping in. Yeah, I got in for a short here. I put my stop loss right here. I put my stop loss right here. This is 20 points up. Exactly on the 20 points up. It was like, well, no, it was like 60. It was like right here. And we just had the biggest move, and then we took a liquidity on the bottom. It was a liquidity run, and then we moved back up. It was just a wonky day, and then I finally took this. No, I did take this trade. I got stopped out again. I got stopped out of this trade in the morning, and I saw this. I said, okay, this is midday, I believe, right? 11. Okay, this is 12. I saw us moving up here, and then on the smaller time frame, I was trying to see what we're gonna do here, and I saw sellers were slowly steeping in, but it wasn't a strong confluence for me to get in. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait a little bit. I saw this um this morning star pattern. And it's okay. We're most likely gonna move down. I want to see some other confirmation. I looked at the 15-minute chart. We were like right here on the red bar, and it was low volume. I said, okay, sellers are here. I'm gonna enter. So I entered about right here, and I wrote it down all the way to the bottom of the range right, that we have here. Because remember, we're still in a range. So that kind of brought me back. But then that took me from like negative 500 to $100 in profit. So up again from the day I recovered. But then I saw buyers start to step in here. I said, this is a horrible play. I'm just gonna say this. This is a horrible play. Why was this a horrible play? Because my stop loss was no, I wasn't gonna enter here, but I entered here actually. I entered here because I remember I want to use where the buyer stepped in as the man, and I knew we wanted to get swept out here first, and this is the area of interest. So I said, okay, I saw price move around, buyer stepped in right here. I even circled it. We ranged, we came back down, we took out this level of liquidity. They needed this liquidity so we can move the market up. I entered around here because now that buyer stepped in here, this is the man zone. I saw the price start to move up here. I said, okay, they're trying to move the market. I entered, got stopped out. Right, sad to see. But the reason why this is such a bad play is because it's the end of the day and I'm aiming for this level and my stop loss is right here. It was, even though it's like a 1 to 2, but I don't know. It's strong downward momentum. But then again, I still entered again. Uh, where was it? I think it was like right here. Buyer started to step in here. Was it here? Yeah, buyer starts to step in low volume right here, right? So buyers start to step in right here. I might use this as a play for today. See if we start to move up. I'm going to use this again as a demand zone. Buyers start to step in right here. And I said, okay, I said right here, stop loss 15 points down. Boom! The strongest V-shaped pattern I ever got. And then I said, okay, last play of the day. This is over. I'm over trading, by the way. I don't use this as a good example. I'm over trading, and I said, okay, let me just try. And I tried for this play right here, and I saw buyer step in one more time. I said, okay, I'm entering. I entered, rode this whole wave down until I saw this another. This is a very weak morning star. Is it a morning star? I think shooting star, whatever the fuck. It was just a strong, weak pin bar pattern. But I said, you know, it's the start of the day. I'm leaving. You know, I'm not gonna fuck around with it. So I got out there and I ended off negative 50 on the day, so I'm kind of break even. So it was just a choppy day for me. It was a very choppy day. I definitely 100% over traded. Tomorrow I want to aim for like 3 days. I mean three trades max. Today I had like maybe 6 trades. Yeah, about 6 trades. So I want to cut it in half. If we do move up here, I'm going to use this as a support level. But I am aiming for this level, which is 23,716, 23,723, and I'm also aiming for, we just charted out this demand zone down here, which was, and this is good as well because we're having buyers just stepping in here on a order block. So I might enter very small, and we're having a some sort of divergence here. So buyers are stepping in, but they stepped in way too late from the market. Maybe I should just see. I'm just gonna see what. I'm not gonna enter right away. I'm just gonna see what happens if we jump up and then we use this as support. Then I'll try to enter. But I'm just gonna chill out for a little bit. I'm waiting for here. This is my level for right now, where we're currently at. I'm gonna wait. This is my next level. No, I have two levels actually. This area is the area of interest, which is right here. There's buy side liquidity here. 23,505. And then there's a demand zone down here. Also for value gap right here that I'm seeing right now. And a strong Fibonacci level, which is 0.382. No, I'm so sorry. 23,421.50. I'm going to see a buyer step in there. So I'm just going to wait for these levels, right? Um, we have a demand zone as well. We're playing off of demand, I mean off a supply zone as well. So we're most likely going to reject harder. Sellers are in the market, but you know, anything can happen. Just gotta wait and see. So I can map there, map over there. Yeah. Now all we do is wait and wait for a price to come to our levels and wait for confirmations at those levels. Get this money. Let's see how we end off. By the way, there was one more thing. No. There wasn't one more thing. I was gonna say we could be playing off of a strong fair value gap of this range, but we're not in this range right here. But if we do play off of this level of a range, I know that, well, the demand level is here, and I know there was a strong this fair value gap here. We were playing off of this fair value gap very strongly. So maybe if we do jump off of this buy side liquidity, maybe I can see what happens around this fair value gap and use this as an entry level as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see about that. Market is opening. We're gapping up right here. Just gonna let this see. Buy volume is high. Moving up. I'm actually going to wait for this. I'm gonna wait for the 8 p.m. candle. I made a rule to myself not to trade before 8 because it's just way too. My win rate is way too low. Like I'll make money. Trust me, I'll make money at this time. But it's just so inconsistent, and I like consistency, and I know what I'm doing. I like to know what I'm doing. I like to have control of me, of myself, my trading, my mind. And if I enter here, I'm gonna be undisciplined, and I won't have control over myself. So just gonna wait for those levels to hit. Good luck, everyone. Get this money.